What if the quiet move no one is watching is the one that flips the West on its head? What if the player you didn't spend all summer debating is actually the domino Rob Pelinka sets off first? And what if the hint was never in a headline, but in how the Lakers keep building a roster that can morph quarter to quarter like a playoff chameleon? You feel that little jolt right now, right? That, hold up, are we missing something? Feeling good, because the noise you're hearing isn't random. It's footsteps, front office footsteps, moving faster than the timeline on your feed. There's urgency in El Segundo, and it's aimed straight at the same pressure points that burned the Lakers a year ago. Secondary scoring without sacrificing defense. Lineup flexibility without losing size. And closing five combinations that can switch, rebound, and live in the nail without giving up the corners. Here's the promise. Tonight we break down the profile of the mystery piece the Lakers have been quietly studying. Why his skill set checks Pelinka's favorite boxes. The cap pass that actually make this doable. How he unlocks Anthony Davis without asking LeBron James to be a sledgehammer every possession. And the risk curve if the market gets weird. No spoilers on the name yet. We're going to earn it by dissecting the role first, the need second, and the cost third, then we connect the dots and say it out loud. You're watching Lakers News Fan Report. If you live and breathe purple and gold, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. Tap the like to push this out to more Lakers fans. And tell me in the comments what kind of wing you want. A pure stopper, a hybrid scorer, or a glue guy who does a bit of everything. Let's cook. Let's set the stage. The Lakers' identity under Pelinka has been opportunistic retools, not reckless rebuilds. It's chess, not blackjack. Protect the picks unless a needle mover appears. Stack two-way wings. Keep the books flexible. Surround AD and LeBron with players who don't force you into one lineup shape. The West is a Rubik's Cube. Denver's pace and space handoffs. Minnesota's skyscraper front court, Dallas heliocentric half court. OKC's length and drive game, and you can't fight that with one static five. You need dials you can turn. The gap that keeps coming up is simple to explain and hard to solve. A forward who can guard up and down a position. Rebound his area, shoot enough to hold a tagger in the weak side corner, and create just enough off the bounce so the offense doesn't freeze when LeBron sits or the defense top locks Austin Reeves. Too often last year, when the game slowed, the Lakers had to choose. Keep defense and lose juice, or keep juice and spring leaks on the other end. That's the sticky tape you rip off with the right addition dot. So what exactly is the archetype? Think 6 to 7-ish with a sturdy base. Quick enough laterally to switch the pick and roll, but heavy enough to not get buried on the glass. Someone who runs the lane hard, will screen with purpose, can ghost a pick into a quick pop, and is comfortable catching on the slot, then making one strong decision. Drive, swing, or rise. Not a 30-usage star. A pressure valve who turns ugly possessions into decent ones, and decent ones into clean threes. Now the path. You're looking for a contract that doesn't anchor you to the second apron forever. A number that can be matched with existing salaries without detonating the core. And a team on the other end that might listen because of timeline, money, or roster duplication. That's where the Lakers' leverage lives, optionality. They can add, or they can wait, or they can pounce if someone blinks at the wrong time. All right. Cards on the table. The name is P.J. Washington. That's the profile. That's the fit. That's the, this actually makes a ton of sense target that keeps showing up when you run this front office's checklist. PJ isn't a headline glutton. He's a basketball solution. Two-way forward, switchable, reliable size. Enough athletic pop to finish. Enough touch to space. And he's learned how to be a role star next to heliocentric guards, exactly the classroom you want him graduating from before walking into. At LeBron University, let's talk on court first. Offensively, PJ gives the Lakers something they've needed. Slot strength. Put him on the wing, let a D flow into a dribble handoff, and PJ becomes the second read who doesn't panic when tagged. You can flip the angle, slip to the nail, or set that little get screen to free Reeves. You run Spain action? He can be the back screener who pops out for the above-the-break three and then crash the glass if it rims out. He's not hunting star touches. He's living in the creases, and championship offenses win in the creases. With LeBron, PJ is an easy partner. You want 5-out looks? PJ can park in the corner to pull a low man out of help, then sprint into a 45 cut when Braun forces the switch. You want bully ball lineups? Stick PJ at the 4, let LeBron go small ball power guard, and watch defenses choose between helping on Braun's drive or conceding a clean catch and shoot. The value here isn't a new engine. It's smoother gears. Defensively, the tape translates even clearer. PJ can start on wings, switch on the guards for a couple of slides, then bang with power forwards for a full possession without surrendering his hips. That means fewer scrambles, fewer emergency tags, fewer seconds where a D has to check the ball and the roll man at once. And when you do switch, PJ's length plus a D's timing turns lobs into 50-50s instead of automatic dunks. That's how you survive the West punish the weak link playoffs math.now, the rotation reality. Rui Hachimura brings interior touch and mid-range muscle. Taurean Prince-type wings bring spot shooting and discipline. But when the Lakers ran into length and jam paint, the staff had to patch together combinations on the fly. PJ adds a lineup skeleton key. You can play him with Rui for size and board work, or with a true guard for speed and extra playmaking. In late games, a closing 5 of Reeves. A point guard, LeBron, PJ, and AD is balanced. 2 handlers. 2 finishers. 3 credible shooters. And 5 defenders you're not terrified to put on an island for a couple seconds. Fit versus the West? This is where it gets fun. Against Denver, PJ is the guy who lets you stay out of panic rotations when they spam jockey handoffs. He can top lock a cutter, then recover to contest. Against Minnesota, he gives you a second strong body, so a D isn't carrying the entire front line against Towns' garbage staggers. Against Dallas, PJ's comfort next to ball-dominant guards directly ports over. He knows when to lift, when to duck, and when to short roll. Against OKC, he keeps you long without sacrificing foot speed. Against Phoenix or the Clippers, he soaks up tough wing minutes so your stars can serve legs for offense. Let's address shooting, because that's the hinge for any Laker at around. AD and Braun, PJ's 3-ball has lived in that you must guard it zone. You won't be trailed like a pure sniper, but you can't help off him without paying a price. More importantly, he takes the right ones catch and shoot from the corners, trail threes above the break, and those pop-out looks after screening. For spacing math, volume plus respect matters more than just raw percentage, and he's earned that respect. Rebounding and the boring stuff, that's where winning hides. PJ bodies his man, hits first, and keeps the ball alive. That means the Lakers can close defensive possessions without sending guards into the teeth of the paint. On offense, it grants second chances without compromising your transition defense, because PJ reads when to crash and when to sprint back. Coaches sleep better with those guys on the floor. Now the elephant that always walks into the Lakers' living room. Cost. Nobody here is pretending you scoop up a 26-inch two-way forward for pennies and a handshake. But the reason this name is oxygen right now is simple. There are windows in this league when good players on reasonable numbers become gettable because of timeline shift, because of reshuffles, because another team wants a different archetype. That's the window you stalk if you're Pelinka. The trade math would require matching salary and at least one real asset, but not the kind of all-in package that nukes optionality for 3 summers. Contracts matter because the apron rules matter. PJ's number isn't tiny, but it's workable. You can get there without touching the untouchables, and you can structure around him without living in penalties that kill future moves. The key is staying disciplined, a pick with the right protections, a player outgoing who isn't in your playoff 8, and a plan to keep flexibility for another move if the market surprises you. That's how Pelinka has played it lately. Add without painting the corner of the cap, risk profile. Let's be honest, PJ isn't a guaranteed star turn. He's a role star, meaning he wins by being elite at his role. There will be nights the shot wobbles. There will be matchups where he's asked to bang up a position and needs help on the glass. That's the league. The counter is reliability. He shows up, takes the tough cover, screens, spaces, moves his feet, and doesn't need the ball to stay effective. With a D and LeBron, that's exactly the currency you want. The human side matters too. This locker room respects workers. PJ's game reads like a worker's game: fundamentals, motor, next play mentality. Slot him next to a D's standard and LeBron's IQ, and the floor of every lineup rises. Young guys get simpler reads. Vets get cleaner shots. And Darvin Ham, or whoever's drawing it up, gets to mix coverages without chasing matchups all night. Let's put Rui on the table for a second, because that's the comparison fans go to. Rui brings soft touch and size at the rim. PJ brings more switch equity at the point of attack and a bit more connective passing from the slot. They aren't clones. They're complements. There will be nights you start one and close with the other. There will be nights you play both and dare smaller teams to rebound. That is the entire point. Choices, not compromises. Market alternatives exist. Sure, big-ticket names with bigger price tags. Dream fits on teams that won't pick up the phone unless you empty the safe. Or bargain swings that leave you hoping someone pops in April. PJ sits in the middle lane, more attainable than the All-Stars, more dependable than the maybes. When you've got LeBron's clock in a D's prime, middle lane wins are how you build a playoff machine. Timeline check? The league's calendar is a conveyor belt. A couple of teams start 6-2, and suddenly they're not selling. Another drops 5 or 7, and the phone lights up. The Lakers' job is to be ready with numbers and scenarios, so when a "we might listen" turns into "what's your best offer?" they already know the answer. That's how the quiet deals get done. Not with tweets, with preparation. Okay, let's breathe and connect the rumor to reality. The buzz is that Pelinka's front office has canvassed the exact archetype PJ represents, and that there's real curiosity about whether this is the sneaky lever that shifts the Lakers from dangerous to dictating. It isn't a splash for splash's sake. It's a basketball-first move that respects the 2 stars you have and the rules you live under. That's why it keeps coming up when you talk to people who think about fit, not just fame. How would the schemes change? Expect more 5-out, more early slips to the nail, more pistol action with PJ as the trigger man, and more cross matches defensively that let a D stay closer to the rim without being glued to a non-shooter. It also weaponizes the LeBron at the 4 look without getting too small. That's a playoff look you want in the bag. Now the money question literally. Can the Lakers pay PJ now and later without handcuffing themselves? Yes, if they stay inside the lanes. Structure guarantees, team-friendly years, and clear incentives for availability and production. The league's new cap world punishes wanderers. The Lakers don't need perfect. They need sane. PJ's number lives in sane land. Let's talk pressure. Pressure to act. Pressure to wait. Pressure to get it right. The front office has done this dance enough to know that waiting can be the move, and pouncing can be the move. The difference is conviction. Do you believe this player specifically raises your playoff floor and your ceiling? If the answer is yes, you move before someone else does, and you swallow the think pieces. If it's maybe, you keep your powder dry. All roads lead back to a D. Every Laker decision should. PJ helps a D by shrinking the help responsibilities and widening the offensive runway. Fewer possessions where a D has to be everywhere at once on defense. More possessions where he screens, seals, and scores without a third defender living in his lap. That's not a small thing in a long season. And LeBron? This is the kind of ad that extends LeBron's dominance without asking him to be the firefighter on both ends in December. More lineups where he can call the game, not chase it. More nights where the fourth quarter is about decisions, not desperation. If he's your closer, give him another wing who turns the page to the last chapter in one pass. This is the part where I throw it to you, Lakers family. If the cost is a real pick with protections and a rotation salary, are you in on P.J. Washington as the stealth move? Or do you save everything for a bigger fish that might never hit the market? Are you chasing the dream trade, or are you building the best 8-man playoff unit possible right now? Drop your blueprint below who you'd send, who you keep, and what your closing five looks like with PJ in the mix. Here's the reveal stated clean. Because we earned it, PJ Washington might be the quiet, basketball sense weapon in Rob Pelinka's next retool, the kind of move that doesn't break X, formerly Twitter, for an hour, but makes May basketball look different at Crypto.com. My opinion? I'd do it at the right price. PJ fits the Lakers' needs on both ends, lifts a D, lightens LeBron, and gives the coaching staff a lineup tool they can trust against any Western flavor. It's not a blockbuster. It's a surgeon's cut. And yes, it's a rumor, an informed speculation, not a done deal. But it's the kind that deserves real attention.